Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you a couple of different stitches to do on your loom that's not just a simple knit stitch. So to start, we're going to start with a purl. With the purl stitch you can do things like garter, double garter. So you're going to start with a slip knot. I like to make a little mountain with my yarn, working yarn on the left, tail yarn on the right. I will twist it to make what I like to call an awareness ribbon shape. I will take that tail yarn, bring it through that loop, make sure you don't pull it all the way through, and then you're just going to pull on that knot, making it fairly tight. Pull your tail yarn to loosen it, make it about 3 fingers wide. That's what we're going to keep for casting on the entire loom. So if I want to have my blanket working towards me, I'm going to cast on with the slip knot facing me. If I want the blanket working away from me, I'm going to have the slip knot on the other side. So it will be going away from me. It's a pretty easy way to remember. So all you're going to do is place your slip knot in front of your first peg. Doesn't matter which side you start on, it's your preference. You're going to pull the working yarn through that knot in front. So you're not placing any loops on the peg for casting on. Just to make this easier, I'm going to put the yarn on this side of my loom. So now you can either do 3 fingers, or easy trick is to just pull the yarn until you reach the center of the next 2 pegs. And you just keep doing that down the line. If you make your loop a little bit too big, you can just pull that working yarn to tighten it back up. And I'm going to stop there just for the sake of the video. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the 10th peg. So this video, I'm going to show you how to also do the braided edge. So rather than knitting through every single stitch, you're going to skip the first loop of every row. With your last loop, all you're simply going to do is just place it on that last peg. And I have my working yarn in between those last 2 pegs because we're going to be skipping that first loop, making the braided edge. For the purl, your foundation row can be a purl, a knit. It's really up to you. If you're doing a garter accent, you can just do your regular knit. So just for this case, so you can see it against the knit, I'm going to knit a few. And then if you haven't watched our previous videos, knitting, you just take the working yarn, pull it underneath that back loop. So it's the loop, there's only 1 piece of yarn rather than 2 pieces of yarn. So pull that up, take it off of the peg. So take everything off the peg and then place that new loop back on the peg. And you're going to continue doing that. If you notice your loop is a little bit too big, just pull on your working yarn. This will be control of the tension in the blanket. And then we knit through that final loop. And when we place that back on the peg, instead of having your working yarn on the outside, you'll have it in between those last 2 pegs, or the first 2 pegs. Once I get to this point, I like to just tighten my slip knot, make it so that first loop isn't so big, and it just gives you a tighter corner. So for the purl, instead of going under the loop, we're actually going to go over the loop. Pick up the loop like normal, and then you're going to push it through and bring everything off of that peg and place the loop back on. So again, pick it up, push it through the top rather than behind. Push it through the top, place that down. All right, and then because we're doing the braided edge, we're just going to knit our last stitch. And we're going to place that working yarn in between the last two pegs. So we'll go through that again and do another purl. When you do purls on the loom, they do tend to stack, so you run out of room to work with. So all you simply have to do is just kind of tug on your blanket, push those down to the base, and then you're good to go. And if you prefer this as well, you can do your entire blanket like this, because if you remember, the back of a knit blanket where you just see the knit stitches on top is always going to be a purl. So if you end up doing a full purl blanket and then turn it over, it's going to be all knits. So that's why a lot of the times you see purls just being used as an accent. So again, for this last loop, I'm just going to do a knit, place the working yarn in between the last two pegs, and there we go. So for this row, I'm going to just do a knit again to show you guys those purls against that. You can also do the purls a different color to add an accent. And then knitting through that last one. There we go. So I will do a couple more knits just so you can see the difference, and then I will show you how to do a purl again. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to do the purl one more time. You're bringing the yarn over the loop. Knitting last one. To do a double garter, all you're going to do is you're going to knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, the entire blanket, and end off at knits. All right, I'm just going to knit, and then I'm going to change colors and show you how to do the next stitch. Now to change the color, I'm going to take that last loop, mark it with my fingers where that loop ends, pull it off. I'm going to trim the yarn there, and then I'm going to go to my next color and trim this new yarn. I'm going to find that center rope that is in the yarn, pull off any extra fuzz. I'm going to try to light just those center pieces on fire, because when you burn all of the yarn around here, that's what gives you those hard pieces in your blanket. Let that burn for just a second. Blow it out just until you see that bubble. Then I'm going to press those centers together. Just be careful, it might be a little bit hot. I just squeeze those together. Give it a couple seconds. Roll them between your hands, fluff it back up, and then do your pull test. Make sure it's not going to break off. We redo that last knit. And then when I change colors, I like to just knit through again with that next color. Even if you are skipping the last loop, it kind of just blends right in. So now we're at our new color. I'm just going to do a row of knits. All right, and then for this one, we're going to continue to skip the first loop. In this one, we're going to be doing the herringbone stitch. So you're going to pick up your loop and you're going to twist it in whatever direction you're working. So I'm working right to left. So I'm going to be twisting it clockwise. So if you're looking at it how you are, you're going to twist it clockwise. So we're going to twist that, knit through, and place that back on the peg. And we're just going to keep doing that down this row. And these ones may start to get a little bit tighter, so feel free to knit just a little bit looser, so make your loops just a little bit bigger. Doing this stitch will take up more yarn, so if you plan on doing this as a full blanket, make sure you account for that and you get extra yarn. Last loop, we're going to knit, then skipping that, going back. And now we're going to be doing the opposite of what we just did. So pick up that loop, we're working left to right. So we're going to twist that counterclockwise and then knit. Pick up your loop, counterclockwise, and then knit. And then that last loop on the border, we're going to knit. And then going back again, pick up that loop, twist it clockwise, working right to left. And you will start to slowly see that pretty zigzag pattern. think I'll do this last row. All right, so now you can see that pretty zigzag. So I will change the color here and I will show you how to do the twisted ribbing. I'll probably do these 5 pegs, I'll do twisted rib, and then these ones I will do broken herringbone. All right, I'm going to start off with just knits. These 5 will be broken herringbone. So we're going to twist this counterclockwise and then knit 1, counterclockwise, and knit 1. And just to show you guys these next to each other, I'm going to purl this one. And then we're going to twist. So again, this one is now twisted ribbing stitch. So we're going to purl, twist, and then on the ends you will always knit 1. And now working the next way, the opposite way. Everywhere you have knit before, you're going to knit again. Everywhere you've done the twist, you're going to twist again. And purl. And then moving on to broken herringbone, knit, twist, knit, twist, and then knit. And then we'll do that again, just so you guys can start to see that stitch coming together. So again, working the opposite way of the previous row. All right, twisted ribbing. So we're going to purl, twist, purl, twist, and then knit. Going back, twist, purl, twist, purl. And then moving on to broken herringbone, knit, twist, knit, twist, and last one, knit. They look very, very similar. You can see you have that really pretty zigzag. This side you have the purls, and then this side you have the knits and that zigzag. So now I'm going to change the colors again. All right. So this one is going to be a linen stitch. You're going to take the working yarn, skip that first loop because we're doing the braided edge. We're going to bring the yarn around the front of the first peg and just leave it there. And then we will do a knit on the next peg. Put it down, bring that working yarn around the front again, place it around that peg, leave it there. Then we're going to knit, do that again, knit, do that again, knit. I'm just going to knit through that last one. And then everywhere you have knit before, you're going to cross it over. And everywhere you cross over in the previous row, you're going to knit. So we're going to bring it around the front, knit, around the front, knit, front, knit, front, knit, and at the end. All right, bring it around the front, knit, front, knit, front, knit, front, knit, and last one, knit. So I will do this for just a couple of more rows, give you guys an idea of what it will look like for yourself. Now for the last one I'm going to show you is called a seed stitch. So I'm going to change colors. This one looks pretty similar to the linen stitch, but it looks the same on both sides, which is really nice when it comes to a chunky knit blanket because when doing different stitches, you never really know what the back's going to look like. So, all right. Again, this one you'll want to start with an odd number casted on. I have 10 here. Probably should have started with 11. I wasn't thinking that hard. I'm just going to do a row of knits. For almost all of these stitches, when doing them on an entire blanket, rather than I'm just doing it here, you're going to want your foundational row to all be knits. All right. For the seed stitch, it's alternating knit and purls every row. So for the first one, I'm going to knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 all the way down, and then at the ends, we're going to make sure that we knit. Everywhere we have a purl, we're going to knit. Everywhere we have a knit, we're going to purl. So here we have a purl, so I'm going to knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit, purl, and then on the ends we will knit. And then again, there's purl here, so now we're going to knit, and then purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and then knit. So I'm going to do just a couple more rows, show you guys what this one looks like. And then I'm just going to do a quick cast off. So now you can see all of the beautiful stitches we did. So we have the purl with the double garter, the herringbone, the broken herringbone, twisted ribbing, the linen stitch, and the seed stitch. Here is the back of those ones. So you can see the seed stitch looks pretty much the same on both sides. You have your braided edge.